Hey, what's up, Spice Heads? Happy Sys Admin Day. Thank you guys so much for joining us for a very special Friday edition of On the Air. That's right, the show that's all about getting IT pros and tech vendors together to geek out over technology. We got a really fun show planned for you guys today. It's a celebration of all things sysadmin, as well as a discussion on one of the biggest scourges of sysadmins, which that's right, ransomware. So if you want to see what we've got in store, don't go anywhere because we're going to be talking about all this and more today on the Air. All right, and we're back. Well, like I said, got into a lot of exciting stuff planned for you guys today. I can't wait to get started into it. So let's cut straight to the chase and go ahead and introduce our panel of experts so you guys can get to know them a little bit. Batting first, you guys might recognize him from the most recent pre-show podcast of On the Air. He is our guest on that, and he's here right in studio, Mr. Carl Siebel. Carl, how's it going today?
Doing good. Thank you very much for having me 2 weeks in a row.
Absolutely, absolutely. Carl, thanks always again for joining us. For those who haven't met you, can you tell us a little about yourself and what you do?
Sure. I'm Director of IT for 9 different doctors' offices in the East Lansing area. We do everything from neurosurgery to dermatology and pain management.
All right, very cool. Thanks for joining us. East Lansing, Michigan. Sorry to drag you away from those wonderful Michigan summers into the no fun summers that we have here in Austin, but we're excited to have you. First time on a podcast last week, or had you been on one before?
That's the first one I've been on.
Okay, very cool. So if you guys want to hear more from Carl, he had a lot of fun stuff to say about how to celebrate Sysadmin Day, as well as how he takes care of ransomware. Make sure to check out the podcast. It's called Spiceworks Off the Air. And you can find that in your iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or Google Play. And you can hear Carl right here, too. So thanks for joining us, as Carl. Our next panelist is a returning guest. We are always excited to have him back. He's the Director of IT at San Benito Medical, Mr. Justin Williams. Justin, how's it going today?
Good. Thanks for having me back.
Justin, can you tell us a little about yourself and what you do?
Sure. I'm IT Director for San Benito Medical, as you mentioned. We're about a medium-sized clinic, a couple locations. And I've been working with them for several years and helping them continue to see patients.
All right, very cool. Now, Justin, you've been on a few times now, but this is the second in a row that you haven't been on in your your Kylo Ren costume.
Yeah,
can we expect a return from that the next time we have you on?
It's been a while, so maybe for Halloween we'll do some more Kylo Ren, or we'll be in the spirit for Stranger Things. Maybe
That's
something
true.
from that show.
You can be 11.
Thanks
for
the
joining us.
Demogorgon.
Yeah, that'd be good too. Thanks for joining us, Justin. Always a pleasure having you on. Our next panelist is representing Arcserve. He is the principal pre-sales consultant there. Please welcome Mr. Stacy Budd. Stacy, how's it going today?
Thank you very much. Going great. Glad to be here.
Stacy, can you tell us a little about yourself and what you do for Arcserve?
Sure. So with Arcserve, I'm a technical pre-sales consultant. I've been working with Arcserve Solutions for many, many years now, and my role there is to demo products to customers, let them know how to use the products. I will also help customers do deployments. I will help customers in the need that they run into an issue really quick, and hey, how do you do this? We're usually that quick, in between before it gets into serious, like post-sale support kind of thing as well.
Very cool. And Stacy, where are you joining us today from?
Out of Tampa, Florida.
Out of Tampa, Florida. All right.
Yes.
And Stacy, the last time you were here at the Spiceworks headquarters, you joined us for Control Alt Tech, but back then, you basically showed up just to give away some prizes. Happy to have you on the panel. How does this translate from your previous booth babe experience to now?
Well, being a booth babe, it did open up many opportunities for me. So it's nice to be able to sit now and have a little bit more of a conversation.
You've got that film roll now that you can.
Hopefully this will now propel other doors.
So people actually come asking you questions about backup and technology.
Nice.
All right, very cool. Well, thanks for joining us, Stacy. And speaking of booth babes, we've got another one in store for you. He's fresh off the Black Hat Conference. He's representing KnowBe4. Mr. Eric Cron. Eric, how's it going today?
It's going pretty good.
Eric, can you tell us a little about yourself and what you do for KnowBe4?
Yeah, so I'm the security awareness advocate for KnowBe4. Basically, I get to go around and speak at conferences, part-time booth babe staff, that sort of thing, and kind of educate people on ransomware and social engineering, things like that.
All right, very cool. And you're joining us from Tampa as well, right?
Also, yes.
All right, very cool. And so you just got back from the Black Hat Conference.
Yes.
Any crazy stories that you can share with us? Or?
Not that I can tell you.
No,
here.
you can tell us. You'd have to
Off
tell
the
us.
air, maybe, but not here.
All right, thanks for joining us, Eric. Pleasure to have you on. And as always, of course, what would On the Air be without you guys, the viewers? So from on that, we're going to kick things over to our favorite chat desk correspondent, Chelsea. Chelsea, what's going on?
Hello. Happy Sys Admin Day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this very special episode of On the Air. It's on Friday, and it's for you guys, the viewers, for Sys Admin Day. As you know, I'm Chelsea, your chat desk host extraordinaire. And as you can see, we have a great group of panelists ready to answer all of your questions about security and ransomware and all that fun stuff. So be sure to get those questions into that Q&A widget. And if I ask your question on the air, you'll be in the running for some super cool swag from KnowBe4 and Arcserve. Do you all want to see what the swag is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's really going to be a swag pack. Arcserve is hooking you up with this really cool T-shirt. What the heck? Arcserve has your back, so that's going to be included in the prize pack. And then KnowBe4 has sent over some weapons. I told them that I was, having some trouble with a couple of Spiceworkers, so they sent me over a battle axe. Wow, that actually shows up really nicely. So this is like awesome. One of you might get a dead battery because by the end of the show, I'm sure I will use it all up. And then there's some other goodies that we're going to throw in that KnowBe4 and Arcserve prize pack. So that's going to go out to a few lucky Spice Heads whose questions that I asked on the air. And then we have our grand prize. And our grand prize is a Nintendo Switch. Woo! This will be going out to one very lucky attendee of today's show. So make sure you stay tuned to the very end because that's when I'll be announcing all of our winners. Coming up later in the show, we're introducing a new segment that we're calling Explained by a Noob. Basically, we have the non-technical explain some IT solutions to our panelists, and it's going to be a bit of a guessing game, so you'll just have to watch to find out. And then coming up later, Jeff Gretler, our manager of IT operations here at Spiceworks, is going to make a special appearance on today's episode so that he can help us out with our Help Me Help Desk segment. If you can't guess what that is, I'll just tell you. He's going to be sharing with us some of his funniest help desk tickets. And Justin, I think that's really all that I have to cover. So let's get the Sys Admin Day party on the road. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. Again, good luck to all y'all. This is some pretty sweet prizes, so I'm super jealous. Good luck to all you guys. And make sure to get those questions in. I don't know if you guys know this, but when I first started this job, I tried to see if legal would allow me to give away Jon Snow's sword from Game of Thrones. They told me that was not allowed, so I'm glad that we've got some battle axes to give away today. Well, let's get right into it. I mean, we can't pay tribute to Sys Admins without, wanting to also recognize the biggest scourge of Sys Admins, which is ransomware. So we're going to be breaking today's discussion down into two parts. The first is going to be prevention, and the second is cure, or what you should do if something like this should actually hit you. So let's talk prevention for a second. I think it goes without saying that I think most organizations would agree that training is one of the most essential ways to prevent a ransomware attack from being successful within your organization. Justin, what can you share with us as far as maybe lessons or tips that you've learned to help make that training be more effective and make sure that people are actually using it?
Right. So with training, real frequent way to do it is to just gather everybody in a conference room, have them watch presentation. However, we took a more interactive approach, and we are customers of KnowBe4, so we do spoof email campaigns where we send them emails that look like they may be something they'd be interested in clicking otherwise, and then come to find out that they've just been owned imaginarily anyway. And so anybody that clicks those links, we'll have a discussion with one-on-one to kind of explain why those things could put the business in danger.
Okay, so I was going to ask, so you do, when people do click on them, you just talk to them privately one-on-one, you don't make them march up and down the hallways of the office?
Yeah, we don't have them do the walk to the Red Keep and ring the bell and all that. So, no, it's a one-on-one conversation.
All right, Carl, what about you? What tips do you have, or how do you feel like training is most effective with your users?
For my group, I do a quarterly newsletter, which is required reading for everybody that works at Compass. I do one-on-one training for some individuals, but the group trainings are usually the most effective, where I gather people about the same position together and explain what's going on out there in the scary internet and tell them how to prevent issues.
Now, we talked yesterday. You actually you provided them with 5 questions that
Right.
they should think about themselves before opening any email. What are those 5 questions?
Is it coming from someone you know and you're expecting? Is it in a format that you're expecting? Does it have attachments or links that you're not used to? Is that in the format that you're used to receiving? Like you're usually getting an invoice in PDF format from a particular vendor. Is that what it's supposed to look like? And finally, if you really don't know, if it looks really, really good and you really want to know, email IT help. They'll come to our team and we'll take a look at it and send back, yep, that's great, but you really shouldn't be paying that much for whatever method.
So now, Eric, let's talk to you next. I mean, I think Justin brought up a good point. I think a lot of organizations' approaches to training in general, not just security, but policy, HR, et cetera, is the ever popular death by PowerPoint. Right. And so what can you tell us about how that like old school style of training compares to some of the more modern techniques that are out there?
Yeah, so the old school pile them in a break room, feed them coffee and donuts thing, not very effective, especially if you only do it once a year and then expect them to be able to, we'll come back in a year now and we'll do this all over again. So the new school security awareness training is really where we're combining, self-paced, more interactive training at an individual level, and then following up with the phishing tests to keep reminding them. And that's a very powerful thing just in itself, because you tell them when you're training them that, hey, we're going to be testing you every month. And it makes people really want to pay a little bit more attention to the training instead of just, okay, we're checking the box for compliance and moving on.
Stacy, what about you? What's been your experience as far as preventative measures for ransomware? What do you feel like, maybe in addition to training, what folks should really be looking at?
Well, I really like the idea and the approach of having the monthly, hey, we're going to send you this phishing test. You won't know it's from us, so you'll be on the lookout. Really, it brings it front of mind to everybody, right? So I think that's a really nice approach to make them have a little bit of ownership in it. A lot of times, people can just think, well, that's the company's problem. I checked off that I went to the compliance thing and. Okay, and yeah, oh great, a trip. Let me click on that link that's in there.
Yeah.
And do that. So, making them own part of it is very, and then not publicly shaming them.
Yes, I think we all can agree that's probably good. And now, Carl, you've got some, in addition to training, some of the next gen security layers that are kind of help you keep some eyes out for attack vectors like email that can. Relay ransomware. What can you tell us about, why or what your experience has been with that?
Well, we came from old Cisco ASAs, and when we upgraded just recently, I now have really advanced IPS and IDS protection, which gives me a lot of insight about what people are doing on my network. And it also has easy ways for me to prevent people from clicking on links that are going out to known bad websites. My vendor has a very updated list that prevents a lot of different websites from loading properly. So if they do get that email with that link and they try to click on it, my firewall stops it. And I get a lovely little message saying, hey, this user clicked and you may want to go talk to them.
All right. Justin, what about you? Any other preventative measures that you guys are currently utilizing?
Right. So in addition to firewalls, UTMs, that kind of thing, we also have a third-party email spam filter and a antivirus email scanner type thing. We use Barracuda actually. And that can be great too, because it catches a lot of things before it even reaches the customer.
Now, Eric, is all this kind of attention has been around spoofing, phishing, email gateway. Is that still, are there other vectors that are out there that people are being, lured on, whether it's Slack or Twitter or anything like that, or is email still kind of the number one concern?
Email is definitely the number one. There's all kinds of other ways that people are getting hit by this stuff too. I mean, there's malvertising, there's all of that kind of stuff that goes on. We've seen a number of things like that. We've seen some mobile stuff lately. There was actually some Doxware for Android that just ran its paces there. There were a couple of programs that are actually available on the Google Play Store that it wasn't ransomware per se, but it locked your phone up and threatened to dox everything on your phone out there. So there are different attack vectors. So it's important that people understand all of the different attack vectors to watch for.
Okay. So now let's talk next about what to do when you get attacked. Now, I think obviously the most ideal case is that you have a nice backup ready and you can just basically restore the data you don't have to worry about. Stacy, what can you tell us about preparing backup in preparation for ransomware versus just kind of having a smart backup strategy?
Right, so it really comes to the point of taking a step back and understanding and categorizing the data that you have, right? So not all data is created equal. Some machines you can't afford to back up daily or weekly and have that. Other machines you're going to need, or other sets of data, you're going to need continuous data protection, or maybe back it up every hour or a half hour. So really understanding and categorizing, and then have the different products and approaches set for those different types of data that you have.
What about you guys? How do you guys approach backup in particular when it comes to ransomware? Carl, maybe we'll start with you.
Definitely follow the 3-2-1 method. A couple years ago, I was starting to get a little bit doubtful of the two part of it, but with ransomware coming out, it's really, really important that you have multiple different modes of backup. Personally, I like shadow copy as a first line of defense. It's really easy for end users to recover their own data if shadow copy is enabled, and then of course having your proper backups that go offline at the end of the routine so that they can't be touched by anything.
Justin, what about you?
Well, I think he really hit the nail on the head there. The one thing that I also like to do is to have some sort of file change monitoring system. And there's actually a great built-in tool right into Windows for that, where you can trigger email alerts or actually stop, make things read-only if certain variables are met. So a lot of times ransomware will change extensions or it'll go down the directory and start modifying files. So when you see those kind of patterns, it can actually either alert you or stop the behavior.
Now, Stacy, what about, one of the questions that I do get around backing up and prevention of ransomware is how susceptible are the backups themselves to ransomware? What can you tell us about the risk of something like that happening?
Right, so my experience, right, so far to date, luckily we haven't really seen that, backup extensions have been targeted. Tomorrow's another day, right? So it could definitely happen. But that's when the 3-2-1 rule comes into play, and actually having a set of your data not only in another location, but then also offline, because then it cannot, be accessed or something like that. So ultimately following your 3-2-1 rule will protect you from that.
Now, what about backing up to the cloud? Does that increase or decrease the risk at all for potential ransomware attacks like we're talking about?
Well, it does give you an off-site copy of your data, which is always important to have it as well. And hopefully there's things put in place to do that. We've recently released and have an acquisition, right? And we have a direct-to-cloud solution now, Arcserve direct-to-cloud. Not all, it's not going to be available to, I shouldn't say available, but there's some companies that are not going to choose to go out to the cloud, right? Ours is HIPAA compliant and does meet all those factors and everything like that as well. But it does give you that opportunity where you do not want on-site infrastructure. Sometimes that makes sense. Sometimes having a local copy first and then move the data off-site to cloud, and then not always having that port open as well, except when you're going to move that data, right, will also help secure it against ransomware and things like that as well.
Now, how about testing backups? Because there's an age-old philosophy: if you have a backup, you never test it. Does it actually exist? But how often should people be testing?
Right, so not only testing, but ease of testing, right? Because what I've seen and what I like to say is never trust a backup. Always verify, 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 right? So I've seen in this industry, I've been in it for almost 20 years now, and I've heard stories, yes, my backups are good, but they've been writing over the same backup all the time continuously because they're not testing and they're not doing that. But then what we find is, a lot of times admins get very busy, phone systems go down, networks go down, they get ransomware, whatever it might be, and that testing may get pushed to, well, I'll do it, next week, and I'll do it next week. So if you're going to automate that testing, so the testing is actually done for you and reported back to you intelligently, right, so that you understand it, then you can probably even test more frequently and have that sense of sense of
Peace of
you know
mind.
peace of mind exactly, so that you can go through it that time and know that your data is going to be restorable if you need to do it.
Carl, what are your thoughts? How often do you test, and how much of an issue is ease of testing, like Stacy had mentioned?
Well, we can all go back and think about tape backups and how long it took us to recover and test that. And not many recovery tests were done back in that time. But we're an Arcserve client now, and we really like the fact that we can do automatic recovery testing. It's gone from like a 4-hour weekend test once a month to about a half an hour to an hour during the evening, during the week, that I can do tests of my really critical virtual machines and make sure I can get everything up and running well within the 4-hour range, but usually in the half-hour to hour range, and we can get things up and running for an office.
Okay. Justin, what about you? Your rules of thumb around testing your backups?
Right, so we test frequently. Luckily, we have a couple of products that we can test restore from that are not a nightmare. We don't even have to necessarily.
Not a nightmare.
Not a nightmare. Yeah. So I think the nightmare is finding out in the old days, like you said, with tape drives. Is the tape even going to be readable? Can you really actually get anything off of it? Luckily, those days are gone for, I hope, most of us. Now with snapshotting technology and mini SANs that can do instant mounting from metadata, and you can look at your data, make a copy, make sure it actually comes across. And you don't have to restore your whole environment to do a test restore, but make sure that the processes are working and you can get data out of them.
Now, Eric, one of the things that I have heard people concerned about is the potential for ransomware to infect your system, but then squat and not do anything until it enters basically your backup window, and a critical amount of data is now basically aligned with the ransomware, and you're no longer able to restore. Are you guys seeing anything like that?
I've heard people talk about that. I haven't actually seen it go for very long. What I think is a little bit more common is they'll lay dormant for a little while in a sandbox environment, so that if you're detonating these things in a sandbox, you don't see them act up right away. I haven't seen them really dig themselves into the backups that far. Of course, things are changing very fast, and every time we get ahead of the game, the bad guys are doing something to get the other direction. And we talked a little bit about not seeing any of the backups being ransomed. I've actually seen that. There was a police department, I think, here in Texas that actually came out and said, "Hey, we're not going to pay the ransom because we have good backups." And a couple days later, they came back and went, "Well, yeah, those were encrypted too." So that's kind of unfortunate, but these things do happen as well. But the bad guys are thinking about this. This is big money for them. It was $1 billion business last year. They're thinking about it when we use volume shadow copies. Now there's some strains that target those and try to hit those. So it's this cat and mouse game that we're going to be playing back and forth. So pretty much nothing's off the table when it comes to that. And yeah, making sure your backups work and doing the restores is absolutely critical with this stuff. So I talk a lot about that.
So now we got a few minutes left before we go to questions. So what now? So if your backup failed, you don't have a backup, you just didn't think ahead. What are your options now? I mean, pay the ransom.
What I like to start with is the laying on the floor in a fetal position. A few tears.
Opening
get that
up your
out of the way
resume,
up
yeah.
front, right? If anyone's ever had a backup fail on them when they try to restore, it's like the worst feeling in the world, right? It's that cold sinking feeling, right? So you just get that out of the way right away. But after that, I mean, you got to look at a couple of things and try to figure out, okay, where's it gone? What's it infected? Of course, you disconnect the machine that was infected. But try to figure out what strain it is very quickly, so did it spread? Can it spread? Different strains have different characteristics. So that's really, in my mind, the next step after you've disconnected, victim zero there from the network.
What about you guys? You got caught with ransomware, backup didn't work.
I hear avocado farming is good.
They're expensive these days. Carl, any advice from you?
Oh, I hate paying ransom. I've never had to pay ransom, and I think that's the easiest way that we're going to fight it is by following the rules and preventing as many people as possible from getting hit, which kills the economy of it. But if I ever were hit and my backups failed and everything failed, man, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah.
Have a little seance in the conference room with all the managers and just start bowing down, hoping for some.
Resurrect the bits.
Yeah.
Right?
Stacy, any advice from you?
Well, prevention, right?
Prevention, yeah.
So
Don't let it happen to you.
The one way, well, I mean, as been said, it's ever evolving, right? But the one thing that cannot be targeted is something that's offline.
Yeah.
Right? And there's the old saying, if you want a computer to be secure, then unplug it, put it in a closet and lock the closet, lock the door, and then throw away the key or destroy the key, right? But having an offline copy of your backup is going to keep that data from being infected or something like that. People don't like tape. They've liked to move away from that technology. It still works wonders for offline kind of final destination for that. Obviously, probably not your first choice to restore from and those kind of things. But and I've seen people go to worm media for that as well, right? So it doesn't have to be tape. It could be, different type of media, even DVD, something like that too.
All right, guys. Well, it is now time for our next segment. It's a brand new one that we're excited to debut for you guys today. As we all know, one of the hardest parts about being a sysadmin is explaining things to your users, like we talked about. In fact, Carl, you were the one who said, communication is one of the most underappreciated parts of being a sysadmin. So we have created a segment called Explained by Noob, where we've taken some non-technical users that we found just laying around the office and asked them to explain some fairly complex technical terms in IT, both related to ransomware as well as backup. And so we're going to have our panelists guess as to what in the heck these users are trying to talk about. So let's get started with it. We're going to go down the line. Everyone's got 2 videos that we're going to be showing, and so we'll give each of you guys a chance to guess. If a person doesn't know or can't figure it out, we'll get the rest of the three to chime in. But let's get Carl's first video lined up.
That's something you can get to at all times. There are lots of stuff that you can use for a particular project. That's when you have a lot of open space in your schedule. Is when you have a lot of space to store things, like data and things.
I really don't know. Free hard drive space?
That was actually a really hard one. No. Any other guesses?
The cloud? I don't
Yeah, I don't have a clue. You have these people just laying around here?
The recycle bin?
Are they used to hold open the doors?
Chelsea?
Chad has some guesses.
What are they guessing?
They're all guessing cloud storage.
So it was actually, well, I guess it kind of counts. It was actually high availability.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
yeah, so
Okay.
when you have a lot of space in your schedule, you're highly available.
So the question to the know-it-all on the end here, how would you explain that?
Me?
High availability, not you. the
Okay,
other
Carl.
Oh,
End. No, this end.
Oh,
Listen, me?
Yeah.
Eric.
Oh, geez. High availability. How would I explain that? Geez.
The other end.
I mean, I guess you'd have to use the word. It's always available, always there for you when you need it. I don't know. That could sound
Anywhere,
like a dating
anytime
site.
access.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be a good one. Yeah.
All right, let's get our next video lined up for Justin.
This is when your cloud is like a transformer. Maybe multiple types of storage. Maybe cloud plus non-cloud. That's when you have several things hosted and they can combine together. It's partially on your site and partially on somebody else's site, right? That's what it is.
I'm going to guess private cloud, public cloud?
Sort of. Any other guesses?
Hybrid.
Hybrid cloud?
It was
Yeah,
hybrid. That's
Okay.
correct. Any guesses from the audience?
Yeah, we actually had a couple people say hybrid cloud, question mark.
All right.
Yep, good guesses.
Shout out to our users. That was a good one. All right, let's get Stacy's video lined up.
When you get spammed or open something that you weren't supposed to open. That is when you go out and sit in a boat very patiently and you wait for a bite. When the bad guys send emails trying to get people's information. Is it money? Data? Important secrets.
Yeah, I'm guessing that would be a phishing attack.
That is correct. It was fishy.
Everyone in chat pretty much said fishing.
All right, let's go to Eric's video.
It's when hackers try to fake you out. That's when they make a movie that makes fun of another movie. That's when you trick someone into opening something. It's an attack that's sent by somebody in your organization.
So are we talking like social engineering here?
Sort
or,
of.
I mean, phishing, CEO fraud, I don't know, something along
Kind
those
of, but
lines.
along those lines. Any other guesses?
Spoofing.
Spoofing.
Spoofing,
It was
yeah,
spoofing.
Chat got it again.
All
They
right.
get spoofing.
Good job, guys. All right. We got another round, folks. Let's go back to
do it.
Carl again.
Okay, hit me with something hard.
Viruses or threats in your programming computer stuff. It's bad software, code maybe, that gets into your computer and messes things up. That stem means sad, so if it's on your computer, you will be sad. Wanna cry?
Ransomware or malware.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It was malware. All right. Let's go to Justin's second video.
That's when you have no clue what's happening to your computer. The person who has to mitigate it. Isn't that kind of a Michael Jackson song?
This is a hard one.
Wow, Michael Jackson song.
Yeah.
Eat it.
Give you a hint. It's
Black and
it's a type of attack.
Like Weird Al
Any other-
spoofed it.
Oh, bad? Eat it?
There you go.
Beat it? No.
Eat it.
Any other guesses?
Spam.
It was Man in the Middle.
Michael
Michael Jackson song, Man in the Mirror. All right, let's go to Stacy's video.
When you're tricked into opening something you thought was something else. That's what Winnie the Pooh is obsessed with, right? So it's like when they set up an attack to like collect your information, but like it's like too good to be true, so like of course you're gonna click on it.
Honeypot?
That is correct. It is a honeypot. All right, and Eric's final one.
It's some sort of software or hardware or something that you use to secure information. A failover, it's the opposite of a fail under. Failover, it's when your backup needs to be backed up.
So they actually said it.
Yeah, failover,
It was failover, yeah.
The password is.
All right, well, thank you guys for playing along. Hope you guys had fun with that one. And thank you to our non-technical users. You guys were awesome. Thank you for giving such good responses to that. So, it is now time. I understand things are blowing up. We're a little bit behind schedule, but that's okay because I think we're having a lot of fun here. But let's get some questions from chat. Chelsea, what is happening?
We've got so many questions coming. I think a storm is a brewing. Thunder round! We got a thunder round coming up, but that video was awesome.
Yeah.
We should do that like every episode. Okay, so thunder round means basically there's a ton of questions, and I'm going to be asking them to you very quickly. You can answer quickly as well, or just feel free to elaborate. Don't worry about it. But this first one is in from Trent the Gent. He's always tuning in. Hey, Trent, how are you? Trent wants to know, what is the most important part of prevention, software or end user training?
Really quick, Carl.
Training.
Justin.
Preparedness.
Stacy.
I would say training.
Training.
Yeah, definitely
And Eric.
training.
All right, there you have it. Software sucks. You heard it first.
Are you ready for more?
Yes, let's keep it going.
All right, Wi-Fi Addict wants to know, are NGFW or Next Generation Firewall capable or user training enough to stop ransomware? Did that make sense?
It did. We kind of talked about Carl, what are your thoughts?
Don't just trust one thing. Training comes first. The firewalls give me better information, but yeah, you can't just trust next gen. You need better people.
Okay, let's keep it going. Chelsea?
Alrighty, Black Wolf wants to know, does ransomware always begin at an email?
No.
No, absolutely
always.
not. Yeah.
What's second next to email?
RDP, compromise?
Drive-by, website,
Yeah.
Sweet Orange.
Malvertising. Yeah.
USBs or that's a little
USB, yep.
Okay. All right, there you have it. Chelsea, let's keep it going.
All right, this one's from C-Web. Hey, C-Web, happy Sys Admin Day. C-Web wants to know, the ideal is 0 users falling to fishy links. However, what would you consider an acceptable level of failure from your users as an organization?
What do you guys think? Eric, we'll go to you first.
That's kind of a tough one because it's never going to be 0, right? So if you're doing these tests and you're getting 0, you probably need to make it a little bit tougher. I'd say that if you're down in your low percentages, single-digit percentages, you're probably doing pretty good.
Justin, any thoughts?
An acceptable number?
What do you shoot for when you do your phishing tests?
I shoot for under 10%.
How about maybe not the same person constantly?
Not the repeat offender.
Right.
On that note,
Yeah.
Shelby wants to know, how do you handle repeat offenders after you've already had discussions with them?
That's when you walk them through the halls with the bell, right?
Right,
Yeah.
Flaying is a good one here.
Shame.
No, but really, what do you guys, either Carl or Justin, have you guys had to deal with repeat offenders?
Yeah, I have. And fortunately for me, I have a bunch of smaller businesses within Compass, so I take it to their office manager and like, this person's done it 3 times. They're costing everyone money. We gotta do something. If that means changing role or moving on up to better things,
Sometimes changing your approach as well.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe if they don't understand the personal risk, right? So maybe if you change the way that you're approaching explaining it to them, right, that may help as well.
Also restricting their access maybe a little bit more than you would your other users. After
no
a few
Spotify
times.
for you.
Yeah.
That is true, you can drown them.
Pen and paper from now on.
Especially if you have a next generation firewall, right? You can just block whatever you want.
Yeah,
from them.
exactly.
All right, Chelsea, let's get another question.
All right, this one's from Jim Ender. Jim wants to know, if a decryptor is found online, should we give the users their files back?
We didn't get a chance to talk about decryptors. Eric, what are your thoughts on them?
I think it's great, actually, and I love that security companies put a lot of effort into doing that, and it can be very helpful. And this is one of the things, if you do get hit by ransomware, don't delete all the files, because there may be a decryptor that's found later on, and at least you could get some of that back. Anytime your files have been encrypted by ransomware, though, you want to be a little suspect of them, because the ransomware is really designed to encrypt quickly, not necessarily cleanly. So what you get back may not always be what went into the grinder.
The ones I trust the most are the ones that ask for an original file that you know is good and the encrypted copy. So you can it does a comparison, tells you which
Reverse engineer.
which one it is, and then cleans it up. I've had to use that for a couple of personal machines, and it's worked well.
Good to know. Chelsea, let's get another question.
All right, this next question is from B-Rad. Hey, Brad, what's going on? Brad wants to know, after end user training, what do you think is the next biggest ROI when battling against ransomware?
What do you guys think?
That's definitely backups.
Backup? Yeah.
I mean, really, being able to restore quickly and have good backups is going to be by far the leader in the second place.
Frequency of backup too.
Yeah.
Really being able to back up your data. The days of, hey, I'll do a daily backup, if you lose a day's worth of records, what could that be in the medical industry? It could be a lot of different fines and different things, right? So definitely how frequently you're backing up your systems.
And I feel like that's probably the easiest way to calculate ROI, right? When you're talking frequency of backup, like how much data can you afford to lose? And that's what you take to your boss then and ask them what he wants for that. So.
Convert time to revenue.
Yeah.
And maybe in medical it's a little bit easier because there's specific fines around.
$10,000 per record lost.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's an easy way to put a dollar value on that. In some industries it's not so easy, unfortunately.
All right, Chelsea, let's get another question.
All right, here's a real thought-provoking one from James Gamble. James wants to know, is there any indication that the trend of ransomware attacks is either speeding up or slowing down? It seems like as IT shops get smarter about backing up their data to mitigate ransomware, the less valuable these attacks are going to be. What do you guys think?
I'd say it's a back and forth, cat and mouse game. For a little while there, like I said, I was starting to think the 2 and 3-2-1 backup wasn't necessary, and we're back to thinking it's absolutely mandatory.
Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of ransomware as a service stuff going on these days, and this is what really has me concerned, because now you can have non-technical people that are getting into the ransomware game. They just have to have bad morals and a few email addresses, and they're playing the game, you know. And you have like Philadelphia's $400 to buy. It's very something you can absolutely change around, move around. It's very customizable. There's also DOT, which is a ransomware as a service ransomware. It's $0 down and 50-50 profit sharing. So they give you tools to be successful because they want their part of the cut. And so we're seeing this evolve like that. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. But we definitely have to be on guard with it, that's for sure.
So even as like awareness continues to spread, even among non-technical users, you're saying it's still just too profitable, too easy at this point.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny. I mean, WannaCry was a big pain for everybody, and you know, there's arguments about whether it was really ransomware or not, as opposed to a cyber attack. But it really brought it front and center to a lot of organizations and a lot of people that had never heard of it before. So that was a good thing for us in that, and people are starting to pay a little bit more attention, even on the smaller companies, I think, to it now.
Yeah, but it also brought it to the forefront of people that want to do ransomware as a
Yeah.
service and things like that. So how can
oh,
I
I can make
leverage
money that way.
this to make money?
Yeah.
Right. We just upped the game all around, I guess.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's where the government regulations taking down like AlphaNet on the Tor network was a good thing for all of us.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, let's get some more questions in, Chelsea.
All right, here's one from Tim Tahin. Tim wants to know, what is your opinion on emerging antivirus and anti-malware companies that claim to use AI to catch zero-day threats? How do they stand up against traditional definition-based products?
Eric, any thoughts? I don't know who wants to answer this.
You know, signature-based, honestly, signature-based antivirus is okay. But again, things move so fast these days, signature-based isn't going to fly. So you need some sort of a heuristics sort of thing. I mean, AI is a nice term. It's a fun little buzzword bingo thing, like machine learning and all that. They're applying it to all kinds of things. Really, it comes down to like heuristics and seeing the actions that are going on and being caught. You can't trust your endpoint protection 100%, but you can't trust anything else 100% either. So it comes down to having those layers in place. And hopefully your endpoint protection will catch it like that.
Anyone else? I've heard of like ransomware and spoofers and phishing attacks actually using AI to like mimic the language. So it's just kind of like it's like Stacy said, every day is a new day or tomorrow is a new day. Like it's whatever technology it seems like people are applying could also be used for evil on the other side as well. So. Sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's get some more questions.
All right, this one's in from Crazy Lefty. Crazy wants to know, I'd love to hear the experts' take on the antivirus versus no antivirus debate. For my Windows boxes, I am pushing to remove all AV and just rely on Windows Defender. Thoughts?
I have thoughts. Yesterday, when I first got into town, I dealt with the big issue, and thank you to my team back home, where my antivirus got in the way of our program running. There was a update pushed out, and it blocked one of our EMRs, and it was horrible. I had to remote in from Torchy's, and I had to eat tacos. It was bad. But it was, I debated every day. I keep up with it because at the end of the day, the antivirus does catch enough to where I think it is a good return on investment.
I think tacos always helps, right?
Yeah,
no matter
tacos
what
helps,
IT situation you're running into, tacos always help. Any thoughts from you guys?
I mean, it's kind of a risk versus reward game, right? It may potentially interrupt service that you're trying to allow, but is completely getting rid of it, worth the risk of actually getting a malware attack that it could have prevented?
Yeah, so it comes back to, to echo the risk versus reward. How much risk are you willing to take? You know, I've known people that say, well, I know what's going on my system, and I can look at my files and tell you there's way too many files for somebody to open up and to really tell what's going on. So having pieces in place to kind of do that. But you have to also weigh that against, production, so security versus productivity is big.
Eric, any thoughts from you?
Well, it doesn't always have to be like a yes or no, black or white answer on that. Don't forget, I mean, endpoint protection on the endpoints or antivirus on the endpoints is a good thing, in my opinion. Doesn't necessarily mean that I would run it on every server. You have to kind of look at that and weigh the issues depending on which direction you're going. So to me, it's never been just a yes or no, black and white.
All right. Chelsea, I think we have time for one more question.
One more.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do another one from Trent the Gent. I spotted this earlier on and I loved it. Trent the Gent wants to know, what is your favorite part of being a sysadmin?
That's a good question. Carl?
I like the flexible schedule. If I work in an evening, my company is cool with me taking it a little bit slower the next morning. I like being able to work at 2 in the morning sometimes, and I like working, it's a good schedule.
Okay. Justin?
I like seeing the new technology. I'm a tinker. I like to play with software, hardware. So it always kind of feels like you're on the cutting edge and seeing sci-fi come to life.
And Justin, Stacy, Eric, Stacy, you guys both came from IT backgrounds prior to your
I've
current
had a
roles?
little bit of an overlap, yes.
Yeah, what were your favorite parts of the old days of,
Keeping up with the technology,
yeah.
Definitely.
For me, it was absolutely the users. We all just love the users.
Party laugh.
I think like you guys, I'm fascinated by the technology. I used to have this giant switch, an old HP switch, and we turn off the lights in the server room and just watch it blink. Just fascinated by that sort of stuff. That for me is the fun stuff.
All right, guys. Well, it is time for our next segment, and it's going to be hosted by one of our favorite sysadmins right here at Spiceworks. You guys know him as Jeff Gretler, and Jeff, take it away with Help Me Help Desk.
What's up, everybody out there? Happy Sysadmin Day, which is a special day for me because this is actually my 6-year anniversary at Spiceworks, and I'm still wondering if they're regretting it. I don't know, but it's kind of special because it's like Cinco de Mayo and Taco Tuesday falling on the same day. I was ready for this. So I have a lot of help, so feel free to cut me off whenever you want. So, IT dude was working at a large aerospace company, and he actually had a true rocket scientist call while he was camping with his family saying he could not get email on his phone. So he asked, are you calling me from that phone? He's like, no, I'm calling you from my wife's phone. I'm not getting a signal. Brutal. Come on, you're a rocket scientist. Work with us. All right. Speaking of viruses, we had another user, a sysadmin, Ron Holt, took a call, said, IT services, how can I help you? Yes, what's your location? I have to come pick up a virus. You need to pick up a virus? Yeah, I'm supposed to come there and pick up a virus. Sir, you don't want a virus. They're bad. No, I was sent to pick up a sample. He was actually looking for the biology department. Brutal. Poor guy. All right, we have another one here. This one I really enjoyed. Working at a help desk at a small ISP, sweet-sounding lady called up and asked, can I have you turn off the internet, please? Definitely a bit of laughter. The whole internet? That could take some time. She said, yes, please. About this time, you hear a masculine voice in the background saying, what are you doing? In a more shrill scream, she said, I'm turning off the internet. I don't want you chatting with those girls anymore. Masculine laughter, followed by the sweet voice saying, I'll have to call you back. Oh, she tried.
Wow.
All right. Let's get another one here. This is a little old. This is circa 2007 from Tom and Jay. Watched an old man using Excel, entering numbers that he needed to add. After typing each number into the Excel, he pulled out a desk calculator and added them up. He then typed in the answer from the desk calculator into Excel. Oh, poor guy. This one from Patrick1229 was a little disturbing. It is help desk, but it was for a cable company. He was not really an IT story, but I had a gentleman call in stating that his cable TV was out. I advised him since his home was affected, the tech would not be out there till the morning. When he started to yell at me and call me every name under the sun, I hung up on him. Okay. A few minutes later, I got him again, and his exact words were, I just went out and shot the cable box on the street. Now everybody's cable out. Send out a tech right now. So
Oh my gosh.
Never forget that. So I dispatched not only a tech, but the local police.
Oh my gosh.
Man, yeah, it's real out there. It's real sometimes. We got time for more?
We do.
All right, let's do it. I'm trying to cruise through them. Allstar McIntosh said, I also remember another user throwing a hissy fit when he emptied his recycle bin on his desktop. Turned out that's where he saved all of his files. So I asked him, would you store important papers right there in the recycle bin next to your desk? He just looked at me and said, do I really look that stupid? Maybe he does. I don't know. All right, let's see. We got some. We got time?
Yeah.
All right, let's get more here. So this one's from the Void I kind of enjoyed. Another user put in a ticket and meant to say that there was a disk stuck in his drive. But for all you Spellabatorians out there, he actually used C instead of S, and you don't want that ever stuck in a computer.
They're kind of close together on the keyboard.
Poor void. All right. I got another one from 10 Downs that goes back to Y2K, the age where some screensavers acted different on newer CPUs. End user had the aquarium screensaver.
I remember that.
The aquarium? Yeah.
Flying toaster?
Yeah, the flying toasters. I'm on the phone with the Dell rep and I get an insistent tap, tap, tap on my shoulder. Said, excuse me to the person on the phone, turned around and said, my fish are swimming way too fast. Can you come down and take a look at that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this really just happened. So surprisingly, his head did not explode right then and there. You don't want those fast fish. All right, let's see. We got a couple of more here. From Dave 8726. Working on help desk, a user called in with a problem that her monitor was shutting off every 5 minutes. I asked her if she can right-click on her desktop so she can select the properties, and she said nothing was happening. Again, I asked kindly if she could right-click on her desktop and tell me what she sees. Again, she said nothing. I told her I'll be right down to help. When I got down to her office and looked at the computer, I saw the word click written on her desktop on a tablet in ink. So what she actually did was she wrote the word click. She wrote right click. See what she did there? Right on her desktop. Yeah. She needed a little
right
help
click.
there. All right, let's see. Let's go through two short ones here. From Lauren Gatton. I told the lady I was helping to move her mouse all the way to the right. She then picks up her mouse and puts it on the right side of her mouse pad. They technically did what she was.
That's true.
And we
You
know
gotta be
we got one
specific.
more here. So NR79 got a ticket one time telling me the soap dispenser in the ladies' bathroom was broken and out of soap. Can you help?
It doesn't even plug in.
It doesn't
Usually
even
it's the
plug in. There's no electricity there. So that's all I got.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you,
And I
Jeff.
want to just say, remember to live every day like it's Sys Admin Day, like you live every week like it's Shark Week, like you live every month like it's Truck Month, and you live every year like it's the year of the dragon and the monkey, because apes together strong.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Happy Sys Admin Day to you too, brother. Guys, we are starting to run out of time, so I did want to give you guys one last opportunity. Well, first of all, to give any shout-outs to any Happy Sys Admin shout-out Happy Sys Admin Day to any Sys Admins that you would like to wish. So, Carl, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I hope Jerry's getting to watch this instead of working right now. Thank you, Jerry, for taking care of things while I'm away. And I want to thank everyone in the Spiceworks community. You all make it really fun to be an IT administrator at times. All your tutorials and answers have helped me throughout the years. So thank you very much.
All right, very cool. And any final advice that you have for the people watching today?
Don't trust people and don't trust software.
All right. Justin, any special shout-outs you'd like to give for other sysadmins?
Sure, yeah. I'd like to give a shout out to my right-hand man, George, and then also Josh, James, and Matt, and the rest of my former MSP colleagues out there who helped support us as we went through the trenches together. And then final word out to Google, without which I could not do my job.
Any advice that you have for folks that are watching today?
Stay vigilant and don't ever get complacent with today's malware or ransomware attacks, because they'll find new vectors.
Stacy, any happy sysadmin days you'd like to send out to folks?
Yeah, absolutely. The kind of man behind the scenes, at Arcserve, Brian Flanagan, does a lot to keep us running up and running and everything like that. So definitely thank you for helping me do my job.
All right. Yeah. And for folks that want more information about how Arcserve can help them prevent a successful ransomware attack, where should they go?
Yeah, there's a great website, ransomwarewatch.com, which not only from an Arcserve and a backup perspective, but then also your ransomware tools, KnowBefore's on there as well. Their partner on there. So definitely, it's a nice site to kind of give you some tips and help out with those kind of things.
Okay. Eric, any sysadmins you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, absolutely. Jason and Bo at KnowBefore there, they work their tails off. We've been growing like crazy, so they're running around all the time. So shout out to them, even though I'm still a little bit upset at Bo for taking a day to move my phone.
Gosh.
But I know. No calls for a whole day. It was terrible.
Life's so hard.
Really, I know. Yeah. But those guys, they work really hard. So
all right.
Good
and
job.
For folks that want to know more about how KnowBefore can help them prevent ransomware.
Yeah, we have a website, knowbefore.com/resources, and there's a lot of resources on there that can help you. Have a ransomware hostage rescue guide. We have all kinds of things like that. Good information and free tools that we can share with you to hopefully make your jobs a little bit easier.
All right. Well, guys, before we get to the prizes, just one final question. How do you think people should be celebrating Sys Admin Day? Just shout out your answer.
Tacos.
Tacos, Justin.
Beer.
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 Cervezas.
Yeah, tacos and beer.
Tacos and beer. What do you guys think about my idea where you just give all sysadmin departments the day off so that people appreciate what it's like to have sysadmins? Is that...
Don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be a horrible day coming back, though.
Just
not be
bring
worth
beer
it.
into the office for
That's
them.
true.
There
That's
you go.
true.
I like that one.
All right, guys. Well, it is time to announce the winner of our prizes. So let's kick it on over to Chelsea one last time to find out who's walking away with some swag. Chelsea.
Woo! Well, Justin, you didn't ask me, but I think that everyone should celebrate Sys Admin Day wielding battle axes and really cool t-shirts from Arcserve. So yeah, we can just go straight into the prizes from here. Because it is Sys Admin Day and we are doing a very special episode for you here on Friday, we're giving away more swag packs. So we're not just giving away the typical 2 or 3, we're giving away 6. The lucky winners of our Arcserve Know Before swag pack words is going out to Trent the Gent, Black Wolf, C. Webb, Dave, Gunther, Taheen, and Brad.
All right.
Congratulations. Yes. Boom. All right, as you can see, I'm wearing the t-shirt. I threw it on. I know our sound guy was like, the microphone. And then you get this here. Some of you might get a cup, some earbuds, who knows what else. And then we have our grand prize, which is a Nintendo Switch. That is going out to one very lucky attendee of today's show, and that is going to Wi-Fi Addict. Congratulations. Yes. If I shouted you out as one of our winners today, please be sure to email us your mailing address at ontheair@spiceworks.com. That is the only way for us to get you your prizes. So send us an email at ontheair@spiceworks.com. Now, I know today we did a very special episode at the end of the week instead of the middle of the week. So since there are so many of you still in chat, if you could tell us what you think about the day of the week. I mean, why did you show up today? Was it because Know Before and Arcserve was here? Was it because it was Sys Admin Day, or was it because it was Friday? Tell us what day of the week you prefer to see on the air, because we want to know, because we love having y'all in chat. I think that's pretty much all that I got, because I'm running late for Sys Admin Day celebration.
That is
you guys
true.
are holding me up. There's bacon and beer out there waiting for me, so I'm gonna jet, and I'm gonna give it back over to Justin. Happy Sys Admin Day, everyone.
All right, thank you, Chelsea. Congratulations to all of our big winners. Once again, always make sure to email us at ontheair@spiceworks.com. Let us know where you want those prizes shipped. Thanks for hanging out with us. Wanted to thank our panelists again, Carl, Justin, Stacy, and Eric, as well as our sponsors, Know Before and Arcserve. And a very happy Sys Admin Day to each and every one of you guys, but also a very special shout out to the Spiceworks Sys Admin team, and in particular, our boy Jeff, as well as Jake, Arthur, and RJ in particular for being so tolerant with me and Liz and all of our questions that we have for all of you guys. As always, for more information about all things on the air, make sure to go subscribe or follow at community.spiceworks.com/on-the-air. We're going to be taking a little short hiatus. We'll be back towards the end of August, so make sure to be on the lookout for our upcoming shows then. And in particular, stay tuned. We're also bringing back another favorite segment called the IT Update, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, guys, stay safe and keep it spicy.